What is up, gamers? We've got a little bit of a journey we're going on today. Well, every birding trip is a journey, I guess. But today we are going to go and try to find a rare red-footed booby that showed up in Port Townsend, Washington. This is apparently only the second ever record for the state. Well, I guess the second ever live bird. Apparently, I guess there was 2 that were found dead here or something like that. But second ever live bird for the state of Washington. It's been here for like a month now. It's currently the end of August. It's been here since August 6th, I believe. Because I'm sure I've uploaded all the footage of me in Africa by now. It showed up here like a few days after I left for Africa. So I'm like, of course the rare bird shows up when I'm on a different continent. But I'm here now and it's still hanging around. It sounds like it's pretty consistently hanging out in like kind of the same area in Port Townsend. So we're gonna go see if we can find this sucker. I'm currently on a ferry right now. I'm about to get out to go see if I can find any birds hanging out in the water. But this is kind of giving me flashbacks to the movie The Big Year. I'm pretty sure I remember it's been like 3 years since I've seen the movie The Big Year, but I remember that there was a scene where they're going to go find a blue-footed booby in Washington State, and they have to ride on a ferry to go see it. Well, I'm on a ferry right now in Washington State going to go see a red-footed booby. So I'm basically living the movie right now, which is pretty cool. But anyways, hopefully we'll see it. Hopefully we'll see a bunch of other really cool birds around. So hope you guys will enjoy joining me on this journey. Let's go. So I arrived in Port Townsend and then moved out onto some of the docks where the bird had been seen on some of the ships a few times. I didn't see it there, despite the fact I was looking quite a bit. But I did see some other cool species. There was quite a few crows that were hanging around the marina and perching up on these cool gothic looking spiky things, which was neat. And then there was also some gull nests on top of the roofs. I didn't actually see the gull nests, but I saw these baby gulls, which obviously means there must be gull nests there, which is really cool. Those are the first baby gulls I've ever seen. And then also there were a few belted kingfishers hanging out, which are always a delight to see as well. So this first off along some of the piers was a bus, didn't see it, but it looked like it was reported quite a bit up at Fort Worden State Park yesterday. So I'm going to go up there. Apparently it's hung out on top of the building of the Marine Science Center. So we're going to go up there real quick, see if it's up there. If not, I'm not too worried. It's only noon and I'm sure it goes out to forage every now and then. I've got tons of time to hang out here and go around and try to find this thing. But without further ado, let's go up to Fort Worden. I'll bird around the state park if nothing else, and we'll see what we can find. Immediately upon parking my car at Fort Worden State Park, I looked out the window and saw a suspiciously Sulid-shaped bird landing onto one of the concrete structures, break wall, I don't know exactly what it was. And sure enough, it was the red-footed booby. I love how sometimes rare birds I don't find and other times I see them instantly. It's really funny to me. I got here at just the right time when it was coming back from foraging, I guess. Very, very lucky. But yeah, it just hung out there on the concrete for quite a while, and I got some really good views of it. It was hanging out with some Heermann gulls, which were also a lifer for me. I'd never seen Heermann's gulls before. So 2 lifers for the price of 1. Red-footed boobies are a tropical species, so this is rather far north for them, though they do sometimes wander pretty far north. Like there's some records in Alaska and stuff, which is kind of crazy. Unlike some other seabirds, red-footed boobies actually nest in trees, which they build out of sticks. And then they have to defend those nests from other birds that want to steal their sticks to use in their own stick nests. So they gotta guard those sticks very defensively. Red-footed boobies are the smallest of the booby species and can be identified from other ones by their red feet, though this individual here has kind of more pinkish colored feet because this is a juvenile bird and not an adult. The adults have bright red feet. Also, another fact that I think is really cool, they do not have any nostrils. That is not unique to boobies, that their close relatives, the cormorants and the anhingas, also do not have any nostrils. And they're not the only birds with heavily reduced nostrils. Pelicans, for example, don't have any external nostrils. But boobies are some of the few birds that have just completely lost a nostril, even when you look at their skull. They don't have any of it. So they're all mouth breathers. And it is believed that this is a diving adaptation so they don't get water stuck in their nose, because that seems to be a common factor when birds lose their nostrils, is they're usually divers. Now, interestingly, having nostrils does not mean that you can't be a diver, because there's lots of birds that dive and have nostrils, but for some reason it seems like it's beneficial to some species. So yeah, even though this booby's mouth seems closed, it's open just a little bit so air can, like, you know, come in and out through its mouth so it can breathe. But I also made sure to get some footage of the Heermann's gulls as well, not just the booby. Heermann's gulls are native only to the west coast of North America, and they are probably the most easily identifiable gull in all of North America, which is a relief considering the fact that gulls are often very, very hard to ID. But these birds are so darkly colored and have these bright red bills, I mean, it's hard to mistake them for anything else. And they're also just beautiful. Like, it was awesome to get to see them. They're a really, really cool gull species that I was happy and fortunate to get to see along with the booby. I spent quite a bit of time here to really soak in the experience because I knew I probably wasn't going to see a red-footed booby for a long time, probably never in Washington again. So I made sure I really enjoyed my time here. But then after, I don't know, a while, I honestly don't remember how long I was there anymore, I decided it was time to move on. But first, I did take note of some pigeons on the beach because pigeons are cool. I decided to walk more towards where the old fort was, and I saw a whole bunch of gulls hanging out on the beach, as they tend to do. And then I also saw an epic little spotted sandpiper in non-breeding plumage, hence no spots, but it was hanging out on the rocks, running around. Very cool. I love these little guys. I just love their energy with their constant little bobbing motions. They're very fun. But then I decided to move on to a bit more of a wooded area of the park, and I found a nice little duckweed, I think that's duckweed, ridden pond, which was full of mallards, as you can very clearly see here, as well as quite a few hooded mergansers, which were cool to see. I've never seen hooded mergansers in an eclipse plumage before. Well, they're not really in eclipse plumage, but they're kind of molting out of it, if that makes sense. So that was very neat. And then there was another belted kingfisher hanging out at this pond as well. And I did see some more birds such as crows and chickadees and ravens and some swallows and a nuthatch. But these are all the birds I got footage of. And then I decided to move on to another place. That place being the Katai Lagoon. I think I'm pronouncing that right, which was nearby because a Eurasian widgeon had been reported there. So it's like I should definitely stop there, get that on my August list. And I showed up and there were indeed a whole bunch of ducks. They were kind of all in one corner, but there was quite a variety of species there, including a few gadwall, as we are seeing right here. Some northern shoveler were also hanging out. Quite a few Canada geese, meese, yep. And then there were also some northern pintail, which were awesome. I love northern pintail a lot. They're very pretty and elegant. And then there was also a few cute little ruddy ducks hanging out as well. And then there was also some American widgeon as well. But what about the Eurasian widgeon? Did I see that one? Well, let's cut back to me and we'll find out. So, I don't know if you can hear me with the wind, but I just came out to this pond here. But I'm here because there was a report of a Eurasian widgeon a few days ago, and I found him. He's right over there. He's sleeping. I'm trying to wait for him to wake up so I can get a picture of his head. I've seen his head. I can tell he's a widgeon. Definitely Eurasian widgeon. I just waiting to see if I can get a good picture of him because it is a rarity here. 2 rarities in one day. Obviously the booby's much rarer than the Eurasian widgeon, but still, cool find nonetheless. Oh, I'm sorry, heron. Sorry, there's a heron that just flew by and then it saw me and it went, ah, and then it flew away. Poor dude. There he is in all of his glory, the Eurasian widgeon. He finally woke up and I got this footage of him. And then that was basically my day. I went back to the ferry. I rode the ferry back to Edmonds. And that really was it. It was a really awesome birding day. I got to see a ton of cool stuff. It was epic getting to bird on the Olympic Peninsula. I'd never had birded there before. And then I enjoyed the sunset at a little park by where the ferry dock was and saw this red-necked phalarope in the water as well. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Adios. Happy birding.